You open up some Proverbs.
Hey, give me a second. I'm finna grab my headphones real quick because it sound weird.
Okay. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, sis. We finna get started in a moment. Aharon grabbing some stuff. And then we're gonna open this thing up. Man, a lot of chapters of Sirach is really good. It's really good, really good. Really good.
Sorry, I'm back.
All right, you want to open up with some Proverbs, or you want to get straight into it?
Let's get straight into it because this is actually gonna be a lot of precepts.
All right, bet. So first and foremost, we're gonna give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God Yahweh, by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shah. The title of the lesson is Sirach 47, and we're gonna be getting. We're gonna try and read through the whole chapter and put precepts on as many as we can. So starting from Sirach 44, the way that Sirach is read begins to change. It's not just every verse is just different kinds of wisdom. It starts talking about the honorable men from our nation. So 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. All of those chapters go over notable men. Even chapter 50 also. But 51, it kind of goes back to how it's normally read. But anyways, Sirach chapter 47. It says, and after him rose up Nathan to prophesy in the time of King David. So Nathan was one of King David's prophets. It says, as is the fat taken away from the peace offering, so was David chosen out of the children of Israel. So King David was literally chosen from the children of Israel. And he compared him to the fat that's taken away from the peace offering. It says, he played with lions as with kids, and with bears as with lambs. That's heavy. It said King David played with lions. It's another precept on that in Samuel. You know where that's at?
You said what?
I'm trying to see when King David got that lamb out of that lamb's mouth. Okay. 1 Samuel 17:34. It says, and David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. And there came a lion and the bear and took the lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defiled the armies of the living God. So King David literally killed the lion and the bear as before he was even a man, before he was a grown man. Right? That's hot. That's King.
He was a young lad doing this.
That's King boy. He was a boy. He was the youngest of his brothers growing up, killing lions and bears because he took one of the damn something out of his flock. That's crazy. That's actually nuts, bro. King David is nuts. Hold on, I gotta write something down. Hey, can you read verse 4 in Sirach?
Sorry, 47:4.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It says, "Slew he not a giant when he was yet but a young, and did he not take away reproach from the people when he lifted up his hand with the stone in the sling and beat down the boasting of Goliath?" Could you hear me?
Yeah. I was just letting you get in there because I'm writing something down. Did you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I can. I'll read it again. It says, "Slew he not a giant when he was yet but young, and did he not take away the reproach from the people when he lifted up his hand with the stone and the sling and beat down the boasting of Goliath?" So when King David had taken down Goliath, King David was a kid. King David was a little boy. You know, everybody out there was scared to go against Goliath. Do you got that account? Where's that account at?
1 Samuel 17.
1 Samuel 17. Let's all go there. Let's all go there. 1 Samuel 17 and verse 1. It says, "Now the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle and were gathered together at Shecah." Or Shecah. So like, yeah, that's bothering me. Shecah, something like that. It says, "which belongeth to Judah, and pitched between Shecah and Azekah, and so like in Ephes Damim. And Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together and pitched by the valley of Allah and set the battle in array against the Philistines." So you can kind of picture it. You know, you got one great army on this side of the mountain, you got another great army on that side of the mountain, and they kind of looking at each other. And everybody kind of getting prepared for battle, but nobody moved yet. Verse 3. "And the Philistines stood on a mountain on the one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other side. And there was a valley between them. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span." So Goliath was the champion of the Philistines. This means that he's their warrior. He's their top guy. When they need to knock somebody off, when they need to kill somebody, when they go into battle, you call Goliath. You don't call Goliath for a small battle. You know, we kind of got to go over here and take this little village up. No, you call Goliath when it's a war. That's when you hit up Goliath. You don't just bother him. He's a champion. He's not your run of the mill, any just regular guy. I'm gonna grab this quick precept in Baruch real quick. Let me grab this. This is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 26. It says, "There were the giants famous from the beginning, that were of so great stature and so expert in war." Goliath was an expert in war. He knew how to battle win. You know how everybody always talk about Mayweather. How Mayweather is so smart in how he boxes. Mayweather's not the strongest. Mayweather's not the fastest. But guess what? He's an expert in boxing. So he doesn't lose. This is how Goliath was when it came to war. He knew what he was doing when it came to this. He was mighty. He was a mighty man. That's all I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Go ahead.
That was his profession.
That was his profession. When you needed war, you called Goliath. But I'm going to keep going. 1 Samuel 17 and verse 5. Mind you, he's a giant. He's not an average sized guy. You know, he's not a regular. I think we measured one of the giants before or figured it out. And what his bed span was what?
Um, I have to look. I think we came up to like 10 or 11 foot tall.
Somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? 10 or 11 feet tall. And it's not like it. Don't picture Yao Ming. When we talk about giants, these guys were much more thicker and fuller than that. You know, they had meat on them. It's like a look. Imagine LeBron, but taller. Still got the same muscle mass though. You know what I'm saying? Or Francis Ngannou, if y'all know who that is, UFC fighter. These guys were built. But I'm gonna keep going. 1 Samuel 17 and 5. And he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. And he had greaves of brass upon his legs, and the target of brass upon his shoulders. And the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spear head weighed 600 shekels of iron, and one bearing a shekel went before him. So a lot of this armor back then was heavy. But guess what? Goliath's armor was even heavier. That's how big he was. Even his spear was heavy. This is not your average run-of-the-mill weapon. It's not your average guy's spear. You know, you kind of pick it up at the store. No, this thing was heavy. Goliath slayed men with this. Slayed probably thousands of men. He is the Philistines' champion. Come on now. Come on, that's crazy. Um, verse 8. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel and said unto them, why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight with me to kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us. So Goliath asking for a fair one. Send whoever you want down there, and let's catch a fair one. If he win, we'll serve you. You know, my people will serve you. But if I win, y'all gotta serve us. This how Goliath got down. Mighty man, mighty brother. He want a fair one. Send him down, man. He waiting. Verse 10. And the Philistines said, I defy Sakya. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistines, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. And this is why it says in Sirach 47 that David had took the reproach away from Israel. But we're gonna keep reading. We're gonna figure out how he took the reproach away from Israel. Verse 12. Now David was the son of the Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the names of his 3 sons that went to battle were Eliab, the firstborn, next unto him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David was the youngest, and the 3 eldest followed Saul. So David had to stay back while the 3 eldest went out to battle with the king. They had to go out to battle. You know, they were of age. I believe the scriptures speak about I believe the age is 20 when you're required, or a so-called man able to go to war. You know, America say 18. You know, America don't know the Bible though. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It's like in Numbers. I seen one of the Numbers not too long. I think it's Numbers chapter 2 or 1. Numbers 1 and 3. It says, from 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth and war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. So that's when you able to be like in the army from that precept.
Time. The water. 1 Samuel 17 and 15. It says, but David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. And the Philistine drew near morning and evening and presented himself 40 days. So Goliath is coming out. Remember, they're on each side of the mountain with the valley in between them, and Goliath is going down into the valley, and he's calling out Israel every day, morning and night. Send your champion. Let's fight. Send your champion every day for 40 days straight. And Israel was afraid. Sad to say it, Saul was afraid. Israel was afraid. We ain't beheld no damn giants like this. This man is mighty. Who's going to go down here and fight him one-on-one?
Hey, look at this.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pull it up on my screen. Screen. Like, yeah, I should have had this ready already. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy chapter 3. Deuteronomy 3. This is just one of the giants. It says, "For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron." So his bed was made out of straight iron.
Right. That's wild.
No cushion in there, just iron. It says, "It is not a Rabbath of the children of Ammon. 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it after the cubit of a man. So his bed was 9 cubits long." Now I'm gonna show y'all this. Cubits to feet. Where is that at? So it's 1 point. Where's the thing? Okay, I'll just do. How many feet is 9? 14 feet. That's how big his bedstead was.
Right.
14 feet. But you know, swimming pools, it barely even can go 14 feet deep.
Yeah.
But that is madness. I'm trying to think of how we can
look up Game of Thrones giant.
Game.
And then go to the images.
Giant. Oops.
And then go to images.
This is perfect.
That's exactly what they was built like.
That is crazy. I heard Game of Thrones was actually good. Have you watched Game of Thrones?
Bro, I watched a little bit of it. Me and my wife just started it today. We started it over today.
That's y'all in the spirit, huh?
Yeah, he said y'all in the spirit, huh?
So I should watch it or what?
Yes, it's definitely good. It'll give you a good image of how things were back in the day, and like then you could really like picture out how Israel was, bro. Like it's dope, bro.
They're giving you the breakdown.
Yeah.
Bro, he's huge.
Yeah.
Bro, okay, look. The tallest man bro, oh my goodness.
He said, "Oh my goodness."
Some of the tallest men that we got, they in the high 6s. 7 feet. And when you look at what's his name? What's the funny guy? Kevin
Hart?
Yeah. Next to I think it was Yao Ming too. Hold on.
I looked it up. I looked up how tall are the Game of Thrones giants. It says about 12 to 14 feet. So that's exactly on point.
That is on point. Look at this. This is what I was looking for. Okay, you got Yao Ming. Yao Ming is in the 7s, I believe. You got Shaq. But the game of these giants, oh my goodness. Hart looked like a boy. It looked like this is Photoshop.
Yeah.
This is real life. Look at this. But these giants are double Shaq. I mean, double Shaq. They're double Yao Ming. They're actually double Yao Ming. Yao Ming is in the 7s. He's double. So Yao Ming looks like a nobody next to these guys. He's small. Okay, so like you, bro. I'm
You good.
That
Israel need a sign and images. You know what I'm saying? We need that. And really the only thing we got is Og's bed. But the crazy thing is, bro, just how we have short people and tall people in our race, I'm pretty sure they had short people and tall people in their race too. In the Giants, ain't no telling how big their biggest nigga was. Ain't no telling. So it's like we really got to put that into perspective of why we were actually kind of fearing going into these lands. In Deuteronomy, it tells us a lot about the Giants. It don't tell us a lot, but it gives us a little bit of images. And if you go into the blue letter and look up their names, I believe it was a Rephaim or something like that. One of them names mean the Moabites named them the terrors. That's what the Giants were named. Yeah, the terrors.
Oh snap!
That's what they were known as, bro. The terrors, because they were just so big. They can do whatever they want. They're experts in war. Who's gonna go against, bro? A whole army of giants. You ain't nobody messing with that,
bro. When we went to spy out the land in the Book of Numbers, you had brothers come back and say, "We like grasshoppers."
Yeah.
We are grasshoppers compared to them. That's how big these guys were.
Yep. And the Game of Thrones hit it right on the money. That nigga was huge.
They did a good job with that one.
They did a great job with that one. All praises, man. But to get back to it, this is why we feared to go down and fight Goliath in the valley. Because 1-on-1, I'm 5'9". I'm 5'9", buck 35, buck 30. I'm not finna take on no giant, but I'm finna keep reading. Let's see who will. 1 Samuel 17 and verse 16. It says, "And the Philistine drew near morning and evening and presented himself 40 days. And Jesse said unto David his son, Take now for thy brethren an ephah and an ephah of this parched corn, in these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren." So David had to go take food and supplies to his elder brothers, the 3 elder brothers above David. In verse 18, it says, "And carry these 10 cheeses unto the captain of their 1,000, and look how thy brethren fare, and take their pledge." So basically, David was sent to was sent to minister unto his brethren, was sent to help his brethren out. You know, verse 19. Now Saul and they and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with the keeper, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put in battle, so like it had put the battle in array, army against army. So now everybody kind of getting at it a little bit. Now you kind of getting a little mixy. You know, somebody died over here. They don't know how. Nah, nigga, fuck that. Blood for blood. Nigga, we finna go after them type deal. Battle started kicking off. Verse 22. "And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came to salute his brethren. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by the Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them." So Goliath been saying the same thing. Send out a fighter. You know, y'all niggas weak. Ain't no telling what else Goliath was saying. He was probably down there, scoffing, mocking. Send somebody down. Y'all not mighty. Y'all servants. Blase, blase. You know what I'm saying? Did you want to grab something?
Nah. Oh, I actually do. I want to see what Goliath name mean. I never looked it up.
I actually haven't either.
Splendor.
Wow.
What?
This says splendor. Let me see.
That's crazy.
I want to see what splendor mean. Splendor. It says magnificent and splendid appearance. The etymology means to be bright. From the Google.
Splendor.
Nigga was magnificent. That's crazy.
Bro, I didn't know this. Philistines, what was it, Gath? I think it was Philistine. I didn't know that either. But Gath, that's their land. I mean wine press.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's dope. Was it Philistines, Hamites, or am I tweaking?
No, definitely.
Okay, cool. All praises.
All right, what was we at 20?
We are at 23.
Okay.
It says, and as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion of the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words. And David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were sore afraid. And the men of Israel said, have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he to come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? David kind of talking he talking his S word now. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Come on now. Here's what people don't know. Here's what a lot of Christians don't know. Gentile is a derogatory thing. That's a derogatory name in Israel. You know, when back then, because Gentile just means nation, goy or goyim, nation or nations. Back then, if I was to talk to Mahar and I'll say, nigga, you acting like the nations. Yeah. That is a derogatory term. That means you are below. You acting like a commoner. You acting like you ain't holy.
All right, you acting like a beast.
Yeah. You acting like an animal. You acting like the nations, brother. And just how David called him uncircumcised. It's the same thing. This uncircumcised Philistine. Nigga, he ain't Israel.
Right.
He ain't God's chosen. We know who we did. We dealing with the Lord. We dealing with Yahweh. Yahweh didn't choose him. What we to do with this man? You hear what he's saying? You know, Goliath probably down there dissing our God, dissing us, dissing everybody. Ain't no telling what he's doing. But David ain't going for that. David ain't going. His spirit is hot right now. Like, nigga, I don't care who he is. I don't care how tall he is, bro. Nah, this ain't hitting my spirit, bro.
I wonder if they had that proverb back then. The taller you are, the harder you fall, or the bigger you are, the harder you fall. I wonder if that was a proverb back then.
Bro, I'm pretty sure it did. I'm pretty sure it was, bro. It ain't nothing new in the sun. You know how we say, you know how brothers be like, on God?
Right.
What Hebrews say? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, that's funny. It actually reminds me of when Christ said a foundation built on sand, and it says great was the fall of it. Like, you kind of reminded me of that, but that's another conversation. We are at verse 27. And the people answered him after this manner, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. And Eliab, the eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and said, why camest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and thy naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. So Eliab kind of know his brother. His brother been kind of in the war. You know, David kind of, David, he's a kid. He probably speaks about this all the time. I can't wait to grow up and to be a mighty man like father, or to be a mighty man like you, big brother. David kind of probably was spitting that. We just read how he went and slayed lions and bears. His mind has been prepared for this. But Eliab is kind of getting on his helmet like, bro, why you even down here? I know you came down here just to see the battle. Right. I know that. You got something?
Yeah, like any big brother would say, like, bro, you don't need to be here. And he probably was like, bro, you don't know the full extent of what you're getting yourself into. This is not a game.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. But guess what? David has a heart after the Most High God. Which, in the Most High God is what? A man of war. David loved war.
Hey.
David loved war.
Hey,
Go ahead.
When you a king, normally you sit back and you deploy or employ your soldiers into war while you stay safe. King David went out to war while he was actively ruling over the whole nation.
That's how much he loved his. He
He went
loved his.
he went out to battle while he was the king. He was trying to get it in.
He was trying to get it, and literally, it's an account in Chronicles, I believe, where David's army had to literally like damn
They,
near force him to go back home. Like,
yeah,
nigga, if we lose you, we lose Israel.
but they said that. They said if you was to die here, what would happen to our nation, bro? You can't come out here no more. Because he was
Yeah.
knocked off. It got to a point, but it's like, bro, we can't have you out here no more.
We can't have you out there.
He talked some sense into him, like, man, I know you want to be out here, but you can't. You can't.
I get it.
You're too important. You're too important.
For real. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. 1 Samuel 17:29. It says, and David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. So they kind of going back and forth. Verse 31. And when Salaki, and you got to think about it. How foolish does David look right now? David is a kid. He's a young lad out there in the midst of battle and grown men. And you got a giant over here, and David he trying to, no, we can take him. David kind of looked foolish.
Oh,
he kind of looked foolish, bro. He's a young lad, and he's not doing the wrong thing though. He's standing up for his God. He's standing up for his people. But it's just hard to see. It's hard to tell. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say that the Most High God chooses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. You know, the Most High God not going after the man that we would go after. We would go after a man that's good in stature. He looks healthy. Yeah, this man's fit for battle. The Most High God is gonna choose this feeble cripple over here. This feeble cripple gonna knock everybody off. Go ahead.
The Most High God loves an underdog.
Yeah,
They love an underdog. Hey, even with King David being elected as king, Samuel was looking for the one to anoint as king, and God sent Samuel to go to Jesse's house, and Jesse like, this my son, this my second son, this my third son, and Samuel's like, this is surely the one. This got to be the one you're looking for, God. And he was like, he cut him and said, I'm gonna just go to it. I know that came 1 Samuel 16, I believe. 1 Samuel 16 and 7, I believe. It says.
Wait, you mean 2 Samuel?
No, it's 1 Samuel.
Damn, 1 Samuel? Ah, you're right. I'm tweaking.
I kind of want to. Okay, I'm gonna start at 4. And Samuel did. So I'm at 1 Samuel 16 and 4. It says, and Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, comest thou peaceably? When a prophet show up, it's not what you think. Something bad is probably going to happen. So they trembling when they seen Samuel. They said, comest thou peaceably? Because they know if Samuel is like the voice of God at this time, he is literally the man of God at this time. He's almost the king, but he's not. He's a prophet. It says, and he said, peaceably, I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before him. So basically, when he saw Eliab, I believe that's the oldest son of Jesse, he said, surely the Most High God is going to anoint him as king. Verse 7 says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. The Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. So he literally chopped Samuel and said, don't look at him like that. And then you keep reading, and he ended up choosing King David. So look, man, if y'all got time, we reading through chapter 17. We reading through the whole chapter, bro. So we breaking bread. We taking our time with this. A long chapter, but hopefully y'all read the 16th chapter. Y'all read Sirach 47. It's gonna get you some more information. But I'm ready to keep going.
Kind. I looked up David's older brother named Eliab. His name means my God is father or God is father. That go hard, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that is hard.
All right. 1 Samuel 17 and 31. It says, and when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. So David kind of like, hey, nobody got to be scared no more. I'm going to go kill this nigga. That's kind of what David telling Saul, like, don't worry, I'll go handle it. I'm not scared. This nigga's uncircumcised. This nigga's a Philistine. My daddy don't like him, so I don't like him. You know, that's kind of how he get down. Verse 33. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. Saul is telling him he was a man of war even from childhood. This is why they were experts in war. They started war. They started battle young. This nigga Goliath been this guy. He been that guy. He didn't just become it. He been the champion. Verse 34. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. So David, now we get in the context of what Mahar brought out earlier. David he's pleading his case against to Saul. Look, nigga, a bear and a lion thought to take my daddy's sheep. So guess what? I went after him and I slew him. That's the kind of boy you dealing with. That's what David is telling them.
So I went after him.
I went after him. Yeah, I could have let the sheep go, but that's my daddy's sheep.
So I went after him.
So I went after him.
So he said I grabbed him by the beard.
Right. That's a perfect precept actually to show that lion's mane is equivalent to a man's beard. That's the perfect precept actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Verse, you got something?
No, sir.
All right, Con. Verse 36. It says, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. First off, let's just imagine this, everybody. A lion weighs, I believe, somewhere between 300 to 500 pounds. That's just me estimating. I know a tiger weighs more, but a lion, 3 to 5, just rough numbers. Still a lot of weight. Bear weighs more than that. Just be honest. These are two wild animals. One of them is known as the king of the jungle. You know, the other one swipe from a bear. If you get swiped by a bear's claw, it can easily rip through your rib cage. Easy. That's nothing. That is merely nothing. That's like wet toilet paper to a bear.
Bro,
what's up? Go ahead.
How quick? Because me and Ahran, we into this. We like looking at animals. How quick did it say a bear could run?
Let's see. I'm gonna grab it.
Okay, I want to say 30.
A bear can run. A brown bear can get up to 35 miles per hour. 35. And a polar bear up to 25.
Bro, they can move, they can climb, and they can swim.
Yep.
They can do it all, bro. They can do it all. A bear. He's stronger. He's faster. Them things are quick too, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this. How fast can a lion run? 50 miles per hour.
50.
Bro.
That's 10 miles per hour slower than the damn speed limit.
Literally. That nigga can hop on the expressway because it's 40 to 60. He can hop on the highway, bro.
You get the getting it.
He can get off on it.
Bro, and lions is big. Lions is like your average size of a regular car, like head to tail. Like they're that big. I just looked it up. They can weigh between 330 to 550 pounds. These are man killers. These things kill other beasts. Come on now, bro. Come on. That's scary, bro. That's wild.
Definitely.
David didn't kill him with a spear. David didn't kill him with weapons, and he shot him kind of far off with a rifle and a no. That nigga grabbed him by the beard. That nigga was that close on him.
Bro.
He tussled him up.
Bro, goddamn grizzly bear can run 35 to 40 miles. And he's huge.
Yeah.
How much did he weigh, bro?
Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. Because I'm finna grab this other precept. Before you get how much he weigh, let me grab this. Come on, where is it at? Here we go. It says, Sirach, it's like it's 2nd Esdras 5:54. Consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those were before you. Everybody knows everything was bigger back then. Even men. Men were bigger back then. Animals were bigger back then. The lions and bears we see today were not the lions and bears that Daniel was dealing with, not Daniel, David. They were bigger, better, more efficient. Go ahead, Doc.
Bro. It says grizzly bears are typically 3 to 5 feet tall at the shoulder. When standing on all fours, can reach almost 9 feet. So when they standing up, they can be like 9 feet tall when standing on their hind legs. That's tall, bro. That's big. 9 feet.
That's damn near a basketball goal, bro. Dead ass.
He is huge. He's huge. It says males are heavier than females and weigh up to 800 and not damn near 900 pounds, bro.
Damn near 900.
It said the look, I went down. Where would it go? How much did the largest grizzly bear weigh? He said he weighed in at 1,200 pounds. That's just the one that they recorded.
Yep.
Think about what the most I got ducked off in these jungles, bro, in these damn forests. You gonna come across and meet Kodiak.
For real, that nigga said meet Kodiak.
You gonna meet him.
Bro, I heard polar bears are much more like just dangerous as a bear, bro. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I believe it.
I want to see what Google got to say.
He said, I want to see what Google got to say.
Bears. Okay. Polar bears and grizzly bears are aggressive animals. Bro, David fighting an aggressive animal, bro, a bear.
A bear.
Have been known to attack and kill people and food as scarce. Polar bears have been witnessed hunting for humans as prey.
These niggas on the hunt for humans. That's wild.
Bro, look, it says, can polar bears be friendly? It said polar bears look cute and cuddly and even friendly, but don't be fooled. They are expert hunters. Ferocious with it. Man.
Nigga say cute and cuddly and even friendly. Oh, that's funny.
You got Edomites trying to tame these animals, trying to put them in the circus, trying to breed them themselves.
Yeah. That's how Esau get down.
That's how he get down. Esau just be out here doing stuff.
Yeah, he just being Esau, bro. He just doing his thing.
They just doing his thing, man.
He's doing his thing, man.
They do it.
This is 1 Samuel 17 and 36. It says, thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defied the armies of the living God. David talking his S word, bro. David talking it. This uncircumcised Philistine gonna be like that damn lion that's in the jungle still.
Yeah.
He knocked off. You know, he defied the armies of the living God. You know who we serve, Saul? That's kind of how you know who we serve? We serve the God that freed us from Egypt. You forget about that? You forget about Moses and them? That's who we serve. Verse 37. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go and the Lord be with thee. David made a strong ass case.
He made a strong case.
He made a strong case. You know, he mixed in a little bit of the spirit in there, you know what I'm saying? Most High God delivered me out of them. Why won't he deliver me out of this one?
Yeah.
Come on, David Hard.
Bro,
Verse 38.
had
Go
it.
ahead.
He always had it.
He always had it. He always had it, bro. That's crazy. Verse 38. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also, he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go. For he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off. So David, he kind of got all this armor on. It's kind of clunky. It's kind of fit for a grown man. He like, bro.
Can't really move in it.
You said what?
You probably can't really move in it.
Yeah, I can't get loose with this. What bro said, I can't get jiggy with this shit. I can't get it. You know what I'm saying? So David, he kind of took the armor off of him. He feeling himself. Verse 40. And he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near the Philistine. So David went down to the brook.
Drew near.
Bro, David went to the brook, grabbed him 5 good stones.
He only got 5 of them.
Only got 5. That's all he need. That's all I need. And he put it in a shepherd's bag. David was a shepherd. Let me go ahead and throw this in my bag real quick. Let me grab my sling. I know my sling. If I sling it this way, it's going to go this way. You know what I'm saying? And then David drew near the Philistine. Here we go. This is what we all been waiting on. Verse 41. And the Philistine came on and drew near to David. And the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy and of a fair countenance. So, you know, Goliath kind of like, man, this nigga's a child. He's still all cute. You know, he's still all young. He looking for the honeys. I'm not finna fight him. I'm not finna deal with this man. This is not a man of war. He don't got man hands yet.
You ain't got a scratch on you.
You ain't got a scratch on you. You a child. You ain't even seen battle. You ain't even seen battle, bro. That's kind of how Goliath looking at David. Like, bro, nah, bro. This nigga's counting us all fair. He's still happy. Nah, bro, I ain't finna fight this man. All right, let's keep going. Verse 43. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with the sword and with the spear and with the shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. David talking his stuff. He talking it. Nigga, you come to me with swords, you come to me with shields, with bucklers. You got all this, yeah, it's pretty. You look mighty. You know, you look cool, you look the part. But guess what? I came here with the God of Israel, nigga. The Lord of hosts.
Yeah.
Bro, go to that word host. Go to that word host, bro. Let's see what host mean.
I got you.
Everybody might not know what that means. I know when I came into the truth, I didn't really I didn't really understand it. I was like, God, a host? What's that talking about? He be hosting stuff? That's what I was in the world. Like he be hosting parties or something. What's it talking about? Boom, host. That which goes forth, army, war, warfare, arm, the Lord of armies. That's who God is. Everybody know that one game, God of War.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Most High God. That ain't him. That ain't that dirty Edomite.
What's
that's
the
Yahweh. You said what?
what they call him? Kranos?
They call him Kratos. Kratos,
Kranos.
yeah. That nigga said Kratos. They call him Kratos, bro. Ain't nobody dealing with Kratos.
We dealing with Yahweh. Look, this is Proverbs 18:10. It says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe." And that's exactly what King David did. He approached the giant. He approached the. You don't pick a fight with Goliath. You see every so-called warrior, every so-called soldier in our nation froze up. King David slid out there with rocks in his shepherd's bag,
With rocks in his socks.
rocks in his sock, talking head, bro, knowing what was gonna happen. That's how confident. That's how much faith he had. It reminded me of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yep.
All of the greats in our nation, they had this kind of. They had so much faith they looked crazy.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to build up to. You got to have so much faith that the world looks at you like you're a psychopath. Why? Because we fools for Christ's sake.
Yep.
That's what we got to be. We got to look crazy to the rest of the world. King David looked crazy to his own people. He looked crazy. He looked crazy to Goliath. He looked crazy to their whole army. He looked crazy. He went down to the brook and grabbed some stones. We're talking about a 14-foot man, a 14-foot giant.
Yep.
Who probably got the weight of over damn 1,000 pounds. And
Yep.
you got a rock. You got a stone. That's not enough.
You're a kid.
You're a kid, bro. You don't have enough strength.
You don't need to be here right now, bro. That's what Big Bro said. You don't need to be here, bro. What you doing?
This giant is bigger than a bear.
Dead ass.
All right, bro. I gotta grab a precept after we read the next verse. Where we at?
Let me grab this real quick.
Okay,
this is Proverbs 21 and 31. It says, "The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord." And that's kind of the spirit that David was moving in.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, you got a shield. Yeah, you got a sword. You got this, you got that. But I came here with the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Nigga, you uncircumcised Philistine. That's the kind of spirit David was moving in. All praises, man. Verse 46. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee, and I will give it, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Come on, man. David talking it. You know, nigga, I'm gonna take your head off. And after I take your head off, I'm gonna get your brethren. And after I get your brethren, the world gonna know, nigga. Yeah, I'm on that kind of time.
I'm gonna feed your body to the beast, to the earth. You're not even gonna get a proper burial when I'm done.
Right. You got it. You say you got a precept?
Nah, I ain't got one yet.
Okay, kind. Verse 47. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with the sword and with spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on now.
He hard. You read the Psalms 44, right?
The what?
Did you read the Psalms 44?
Psalms 44? No, I don't think so.
See, you didn't just read that. I thought you read that.
The horses prepared against the dead battle.
Oh no, that's Proverbs. Like, yeah. All right, this is
Yeah, I
Psalms
did read that.
44 and verse 4. It says, "Thou art my king, O God. Command deliverance for Jacob." It says, "Through thee will we push down our enemies." So through the Most High God, we're gonna kill our enemies. We're gonna take down our enemies. It says, "Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against them." So through the Most High God's name, we're gonna tread them down. It says, "For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. In God we boast all the day long and praise thy name forever. Salah." So he said, we're not going to put our trust in our faith and our bows and in our swords, but we're going to put our faith and our trust in the Most High God. And that's the same thing he said right here in 1 Samuel 17 and 47. It says, "They shall know that the Lord saveth, not with sword and spear. The battle is the Lord's." So David, he had it, bro. He had it.
He had it on him. He had it on him. Mighty man of war, man. We talking about the man that his hands were too bloody to build the temple. God, like, man, your hands too bloody, bro. I'm sorry, you can't be the guy to build me this temple. You can't. David was that guy. We just read it. He loved war. Even his older brother came and was like, "Nigga, I know you here just to see the battle. Like, you don't need to be here." David was on that kind of time, bro.
Bro, come on, man. Let me fight, man. I could do it.
I can do it, big brother. Just trust me. Verse 1 Samuel 17 and 48. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. David in a rush. Just imagine it. He in a rush. Let me go kill this nigga. Nigh. Nigh. You know what I'm saying? Verse 49. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in the forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. David whipped that thing out so quick, threw it at him, sunk it into his forehead, nigga.
Bro.
Stupid nigga, you big.
Bro, I remember watching a UFC fight, and I think this dude got kneed in the head, and he had like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
His face was out there. I'm just thinking, you got a whole stone inside. Like, bro.
I seen a nigga get his shit sunk in. That nigga, I think, kneed him or elbowed him, and his shit actually sunk in.
I want to see if I can find it. Ooh.
Damn. Damn. That shit is compromised. That shit is compromised.
That shit was compromised. I'm not hurt. You get it? Boy. You talk about rearranging somebody's face.
That's wild, bro.
Bro, imagine a stone. Oh, that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Imagine a stone.
Bro, getting flicked in the forehead hurt. Getting punched with gloves on hurt.
Yeah.
A smooth stone slang at you? Nah. Bro, you remember that video Captain Jeremiah sent where that one nigga slunk?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like native. He was like Northern Kingdom for sure.
Yeah, that mug was coming quick.
Yeah, that thing, and it takes a lot of skill to sling that stone with so much accuracy.
Mm-hmm. I believe in Judges it says that the Benjamites, I'm not a Benjamite, I'm just talking about we as in our people. The Benjamites, they slung the stones with left hands, and they could take a breath of hair off. They were so accurate, they could take a piece of hair off with that slingshot. That's how nice they was with it. So it's like, damn.
Bro, that's a certain one.
There it go. That's what I was talking about. His shit got caved in.
Bro. Look at the X-ray.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I think that was my last fight. You can't go back in the ring after that. Now with your score like this,
That nigga skull soft.
bro. That's that. He got a soft spot like a baby.
He got a soft spot.
Bro, that's like Mortal Kombat when you get like the X-ray. You know what I'm talking about.
Bro, yeah. He said he got an X-ray. That nigga almost got a brutality.
Bro, that's what that turned into. So the Lord, bro, watch this.
That's funny, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, that man got did in bad, bro. Oh man.
All right, let's get back to it.
David did a giant like this, made him look goofy.
Made him look goofy.
Man.
The champion that everybody believed in. You ready for me to keep reading, yeah?
No, sir. Let me grab this preset.
Right, you good, you good.
Okay, look. See the GNT not doing it.
Okay, doing what they supposed to do.
Okay. Look. Verse 4 and 5. It says, this is Sirach 47. This is kind of where we started reading, but I'm punching in. So it says, when he was still a boy, he killed the giant to rescue his people. He put a stone in his sling, took aim, and put an end to Goliath's bragging. It said, he prayed to the Lord, the Most High, and was given strength to kill that famous soldier so that the nations would have respect for the power of his people. So the Most High God literally, bro, in the KJV, verse 5, it says, for he called upon the Most High Lord, and he gave him strength in his right hand to slay that mighty warrior. So the Most High God put strength in King David's right arm when he made that sling, when he slung that thing.
Yeah.
That's what the KJV said. It said he put strength in his right hand.
That was some mighty strength too.
Bro, you putting the strength of God in a boy's hand?
Man, that's wild. When you put it like that, that's wild. That nigga said the strength of God in a boy's hand. Oh man.
The Most High God literally put the strength, bro. You know how everybody got like on fighting games, you got attributes like speed, power, what dexterity, blocking. King David's strength was at a damn 20. The Most I got put it on 100 for a split moment.
Put that thing on 100. Yikes!
He put a rock in his head, bro. That was like an actual gun. He threw a rock so hard, so fast, it came out with precision.
Yeah, bro. It said it sunk into his forehead. You don't sink shit into a nigga's forehead.
It's like a bullet, bro. It's like a Glock.
He said it's like a Glock.
It's like a bullet, bro.
It's wild.
Homemade.
That nigga said homemade power.
What are you doing with this young man?
Where did you find this?
Now I'm gonna have to arrest you, right? But he had a Glock out there.
For real.
That's
you ready for me to keep reading?
Yes, sir.
Con. 1 Samuel 17 and verse 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword.
And took his sword. So I got excited. Go ahead.
Straight, you good, all praises. And took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. Bro, that's the ultimate disrespect.
It is.
That's the ultimate disrespect. You slain thousands with your sword, and a kid come up and slay you with your sword. Nigga, your blood never supposed to touch your own sword.
Bro. Never, ever.
Ever.
This is what kills me. It say he stood on the Philistine.
Stood on his wide ass chest.
Literally, King David was small enough to stand on this man's chest, unsheath his great sword, because his sword isn't a normal size sword.
Nah.
Like the scriptures even talk about, and it's later in First Samuel or in Second Samuel where it talk about, because they actually kept his sword and put it in one of the priests had it. You remember when King David was fleeing from Saul and he got the showbread? He grabbed Goliath's sword also. Like it was a big thing. Like they kept his sword. It's like when you walk in there and see a sword that big. But anyways, he standing on this man, unsheathed his own sword, and cut his head off.
Hey, I'm gonna grab this precept just to back you up.
Okay.
This is how we know this is not a regular, normal size sword. This is First Chronicles 20 and verse 5. It says, and there was war again with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of Jair, slew Lami, the brother of Goliath the Gittite, whose spear staff was like a weaver's beam. And yet again there was war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature, whose fingers and toes were 4 and 26 on each hand, and on and 6 on each foot. And he also was the son of a giant. A lot of these giants had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. That means because you gotta accommodate for the size. So that means that sword is that much bigger. That's what that means. That's what these giants was like. We reading about in First Chronicles. You read about the death of Goliath's brother. These men were big. David picked up that heavy ass sword and threw it in him, threw it on his head. Ugh. Yeah, man. I told you I was gonna do this to you. He probably said that to him before he killed him. I told you, nigga. It enslaved him. I told you, uncircumcised nigga. Get out of here. Go ahead.
So I'm at First Samuel chapter 21, and I'm gonna start at verse 8. Mind you, I'm reading this in the GNT, but check it out. David said to Ahimelech, now Ahimelech is the priest. He's a Levite. If you kind of read up, you get the context. And maybe if we keep reading down, you'll see anyway. It says, David said to Ahimelech, do you have a spear or a sword you can give me? The king's orders made me leave in such a hurry that I didn't have time to get my sword or any other weapon. Ahimelech answered, I have the sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom you killed in Elah Valley. It is behind the ephod. So that's kind of a key, let you know that Ahimelech is the actual priest. That is behind the ephod, wrapped in a cloth. If you want it, take it. It's the only weapon here. King David said, give it to me. There is not a better sword anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't no better sword than this. Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, bro. That's wild. That's wild.
He said, ain't no better sword anywhere.
That's wild. I'm gonna keep reading. We for sure gonna have to do a part 2 to this next week because Solomon, bro. I got so much on Solomon. It's not even funny.
It's not even a game, and we ain't even finished all with King David either. Like
we didn't finish all the King David.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's like a part of me wanted to read just the chapter, but there's no way we could possibly do that.
There's no way we could possibly do that.
That's sin,
bro. For real. I wasn't planning on going over this whole chapter, bro. But you got
to. It's sin if you don't.
Right?
I could find a scripture on that.
It's the spirit of the law, brother. You breaking it.
Like I thought that we could just read 47 and maybe paraphrase, but bro, that's off. That's madness.
He said that's off.
That's bad.
If we would have did that, we wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it.
We would have had a bad camp.
Right.
Would have been our last camp.
I'm gonna keep reading. 1 Samuel 17, and let me see, verse 52. And the men of Israel and of Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley and go to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way of Sha'arim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem, but he put his armor in his tent. And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, As thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell. And the king said, Inquire thou whose son the stripling is. And as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand. And Saul said unto him, Whose son art thou, thou young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse the Bethlehemite. Ugh, respect on my daddy name, nigga. I'm the son of Jesse. Talk to me. Talk to me nice. You know what I'm saying? Bro, the Bible goes so hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro.
The Bible go hard. This is beautiful, boy. I ain't even gonna lie. I read this so many times. It's still good.
It's still good.
It's still good, man.
Good. It's still good. It tastes as good as when I first tasted it.
Right?
It don't get old, bro. Every time I go over it, I get hype and I get excited because it's that good.
Yeah.
It's that good.
I looked at the word stripling. It just means a youth or a young man.
I assume so.
Yeah, I assumed it too.
That's one might. And it says house of bread.
Hey, I went to. It's actually another definition for it too. It says a youth, a young man of the age of puberty. So that's how old David was, around the age of puberty. That go hard,
bro. So he's like a teenager.
He's a teenager, bro. He probably got pimples and shit. Yeah.
Nigga just not getting his little peach fuzz, probably.
That go hard.
Nigga balls dropping.
His voice cracking when he out there.
Bro, puberty hit hard. That nigga testosterone went up.
Right. That's funny. We can get back to this Sirach though. In this David portion, and then like I said, next week we probably gonna have to do a part 2 because Solomon probably gonna be even longer if you're gonna be completely honest with you.
It's a lot to cover, bro. You got it. Bro, you can go into the Gentiles with Solomon.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. The Solomon is
so peaceable, and just the precepts to go with that.
Yep.
It's a lot of stuff you can deal with. You got all of his proverbs, his songs.
Yep.
His dark parables. Come on, man.
Come on, bro. It'll be blasphemy to not go through that thoroughly. You know what I'm saying?
I actually would. All right. We had verse 6 in Sirach 47.
Kind. It says, so the people honored him with 10,000. The people honored him with 10,000 and praised him in the blessing of the Lord. In that he gave him a crown of glory. For he destroyed the enemies on every side and brought to naught the Philistines, his adversaries, and break their horn in sunder unto this day. And their horn meaning their strength. David broke their strength, nigga. That is gone. Your strength, the Philistines no longer have a strength. David took that. Your champion is finished. Finito. You know? Verse 8. In all his works, he praised the Holy One Most High with words of glory. With his whole heart, he sung songs and loved him that made him. And we can see this. We can see him praising the Most High God in the book of Psalms.
Literally.
You can literally, that's what it is. David praising the Most High God and sung songs. He loved him that made him. Verse 9. he set singers also before the altar, that by their voices they might make sweet melody and daily sing praises in their psalms. David was also a man of music. David loved music.
Yeah, he was known for playing the harp.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's a go ahead.
David knew how to sing and he knew how to dance. King David actually set up the holy singers. I'm gonna grab that because you had holy singers who were Levites. King David established that in First Chronicles. King David,
David loved
he
music,
had,
bro.
he was a well balanced man. This King David, a man of war. I'm not even gonna say King David yet. You had David, the young man. He was known for his mighty efforts in war. He was already a master when it came to the harp. Um, Everybody in the nation loved him. He had so much favor from the Most High God and from his people. Everybody desired King David. The elders desired David to be the king. He was well balanced. He had an abundance of mercy. He just had discretion, discernment. When even though he was merciful, he was still a man of war, and he would take your head off.
Yeah.
He
When he
just,
came to these heathens, he didn't like them.
bro, bro.
Christians don't like David for that, bro. David was a murderer in their eyes. That's not who you go to. They talk down about King David a lot, bro. When he was a man after the Most High God's heart.
Literally, bro. He was balanced. Hey, King David said, "Do not I hate them that hate thee. I hate them
Right.
with perfect hatred." Come on
Get
now.
on them. Go
King
ahead.
was like that. This is First Chronicles 15 and 16. And David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be the singers with instruments of music, psalteries, harps, cymbals, sounding by lifting the voice. So the Levites appointed Haman, the son of Joel, and his brethren Asaph, the son of Berchiah, and the sons of Merari, their brethren Ethan, the children of Kashiah. So basically, King David had his hands everywhere. He literally talked to the priests, to the Levites, to appoint Levitical singers. That's actually an office. So when it comes to making music in its truth, it's not to be played with. That's actually an office. They was actually doing the work. They were priests who was literally elected from their families to be the chief singers. You can read that in Ezra, in First Esdras. It talked about when we was in captivity, how we was coming back from captivity to rebuild the temple. You had some of these singers still around. Like it's a real thing. So like I know some people. I heard some people say, just talk bad about making music, and it's like, bro, our people, they as soon as we crossed the Red Sea, as soon as we crossed the Red Sea and the Most High God swallowed them up in that sea, the Egyptians who was chasing after us, you had the women come out with cymbals. They were singing. You had brothers dancing. You had brothers shouting for, bro. It's a beautiful thing to sing and to praise the Most High God and to dance. Like that's a real way to praise the Most High God. So don't let nobody take that away from you. That's a beautiful thing. Music lifts people up. Like, bro, it make you feel good. Now, the music a lot of people listen to don't, but the songs that they were singing. Imagine this, Aaron. They singing in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Melodies,
Yeah. Harmonizing.
harmonizing, bro. Levites singing out there, bro. Come on now, spitting on the mic.
Bro, if you don't like music, then don't read Psalms.
Period.
You got to put Psalms down because that's what it is. It's music.
Hey,
In in English, it may just seem like a poem or something. Nah, nigga, in Hebrew, that's music. Go ahead.
hey, not even just him. Look at this. You got a whole book in the Bible called Songs of Solomon.
Yeah.
Look at this. First Kings 4 and 32. And he spake, this is King Solomon, and he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. So Solomon literally had songs. King David had psalms. When you read the book of Psalms, it tell you who these songs were kind of written by. Some of them. Some of them say Asaph, some of them say King David, um, some of them say Solomon. But you can't deny those. You can't deny the facts because they're right there.
Right.
Right.
Sirach
Yeah,
47. Huh?
we can get back to it.
Sirach 47 and 9. It says, I'm going to read it again anyway. He said, singers also before the altar, that by their voices they might make sweet melody and daily sing praises in their songs. He beautified their feast, and he set in order the solemn times until the end, that they might praise his holy name, that the temple might sound from morning.
Ugh.
The Lord took away his sins and exalted his horn forever. He gave him a covenant of kings and a throne of glory in Israel. And if you don't know about it, when David had committed adultery concerning Uriah, he was forgiven of that. The Most High God had forgiven him of that. He still had to go through with the punishment, but the Most High God took away his sins, man. David repented, you know. That's all that at verse 12 it says, after him rose up a wise son, and for his sake he dwelt at large, and it's going into Solomon. And Solomon, boy, that's mighty.
Bro, think about how successful King David's life was. I'm not just talking about his reign, his whole life. His whole life. Before he was even a soldier, before he was even a man, he had already took down the Philistines. Before he was even a soldier, bro. Before he was old enough to be a soldier, he had already took down the Philistines, their gods. He was well accomplished. How do you accomplish more than this man? His son is the wisest man to ever walk the earth.
Bro, for real
He's
though.
well accomplished like that. Like King David accomplished. He accomplished it, bro. It's already done. He did it.
He
He's
put
right,
together nice.
bro. He's so accomplished. Before he was even old enough to enlist in our army, bro, in the ranks, he knocked down he knocked down their champion. He beat their gods, bro.
Yanked him up.
Yank him up.
Yanked him
King
up.
David crazy. He's literally nuts. He's literally nuts.
Big dog.
No, that's our big brother, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Like for real. Like, bro, they said our forefathers set the bar so high, bro. The bar is so high. Like our forefathers was crazy.
For real.
Out of every king that was in the earth, we had the most wisest men on earth.
Dealing with wisdom on a whole nother level.
Knowledge, understanding. He could just spit songs, spit dark parables all day. Like brothers is opening up the scrolls and writing down what he said because you got to go home and think about it, and you might not get it for a month.
Right. You might got to go back to the tabernacle next Shabbat. See what you're talking about.
You got to fast to understand this.
Right.
You got to just let time run its course to understand this. Bro, he would spit about Lebanon. He has spit about the different trees, the different beasts. He would spit about the seasons. He would spit about how a man thinks, how a woman thinks, how foolish men think, how a foolish woman thinks. He knew the different herbs and the roots that was made for healing. He knew how wild beasts got down and why they did what they did. He know why a dog will go in a circle and chase his tail or go in a circle before he lay down. He could explain that in detail.
Yep.
He could not just tell you he do that, but break down why he does that. Bro, Solomon knew the different elements. He didn't need Esau's periodic table. He already knew about zinc. He already knew about H2O and combining those elements would make water. He already knew that. He was like that. Solomon was really like that. And then he would say, this is all vanity.
Yep.
This is vain,
bro.
This is vain, bro. But yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. I kind of spoiled some of it, but we're gonna get into that.
It's all good, man. Because it's still a lot more, to be honest.
It's still a lot, and I gotta pull the precepts out. But I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up, man.
God. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Labor is never in vain in the Lord, man. I don't know, bro. David just went hard. I'm trying to think of something to go with David, but David he was that guy, all right? This is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. It's on you,
Con. I got enough spirit for camp now, bro. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm excited. I needed that. All right.
for real.
Bro, all we did was read 1 Samuel 17, a classic chapter with David and Goliath.
Yep.
And it hit the same. It hit the same. Anyways, this is Sirach chapter 43 and 30. It says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he pardon you. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary. Why? Because you can never go too far. So with that, we're going to give all praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. Amen. I hope that everybody was edified and just refueled their spirit for the rest of the week. That's what the Sabbath is for rest. So take it serious, but have fun at the same time, because that's how you enduring this truth. By taking it serious, but being balanced enough to have fun with this. It's not a burden. It's a beautiful thing that y'all still in this truth. But have a good Shabbat. Shalom.
Shalom.